We came and toured Rosemont, and my daughter said that this would be a great place to get married, and she planted that idea in our mind, and we've done a little over 500 weddings since then.
One of the most intriguing things about the property, first time I came to see it, was the historic nature of this property. And I'm a historian, I love history, so I'm immediately filled with, awe and respect, and the fact that we can be a part of complementing this property, hopefully.
It was a private residence for the last 200 years, but again in 2009 we opened it up to the general public as an event center and as a wedding venue. We had a beautiful carriage house, and it could hold up to 200 if we really squeezed everyone in, and we really needed a larger facility to meet the demand. So we came up with what the barn should look like from the outside based on pictures of some of the older barns that had been on the property from hundreds of years ago.
And a lot of companies like to have their packages where they just offer, like, here's your building, you can choose X, Y, and Z features, et cetera, but it's basically a package. Our approach is a lot more go in with an open mind, talk to the customer. What are your ideas? What are you really dreaming about here? So just the nature of how we're structured, we end up customizing everything.
When I talked with Berryville Building Group, they were able to take our drawings, and they went through a couple renditions of our barn. We made lots of changes, and we were very happy with the 3D rendition, and we moved forward with them.
We broke ground for Rosemont in October, and they had a wedding in March that we had to be ready for. You gotta have absolute confidence in the people that you're picking that they are gonna figure out a way to meet the timeline. What we do best is help people solve their problems.
When they walk into the barn, the brides see the vaulted ceilings, they see all the post beams with all the oak pegs.
It's Douglas fir timber, really good quality. It's all hand cut by Amish people in Pennsylvania. I mean, we're in there in the shop watching them cut it, putting it together.
The chandeliers, the Virginia bluestone fireplace, and they're just awestruck by the beauty, the openness, all the light that comes in.
One of the things that we couldn't do is have all sorts of ductwork and pipes and all this stuff exposed, covering up our nice timber. So we got very creative with having no ductwork visible, no pipes visible, no electrical conduits visible, nothing. All you see is the timber, just like an old style barn.
I looked at a lot of barn builders in the U.S. I mean, all the way from Texas to Nebraska up into Vermont. Anybody can put up drywall. It was the actual structure that was the important part. And here, right in my own backyard, I had Berryville Building Group, and I'm really happy we picked them.
And yes, the woodwork's grand and awesome, but at the end of the day, really, it's being able to make that connection with Mr. Genda and building that relationship and seeing his dream come true is what I love doing.
My vision in 100 years from now is for the barn here to have its own story, to have my grandkids visiting the barn and knowing that their grandfather built this barn.
My ancestors from the time they immigrated to America have built barns like this to continue that legacy. So I know our grandkids someday are going to come along, and at that time it'll be a piece of history that is just one of the coolest things ever.